Hello and welcome to Enlightened Empaths, your community for the spiritually awakened, where we discuss, explore, and connect with fellow empaths, healers, intuitives, and seekers. Hello, empaths, and Happy New Year. We hope 2025 is off to a great start for you. Can you believe we're already into 2025?
Oh, I'm excited about 2025. Goodbye, 2024. We appreciate you, but don't let it hit you in the butt on the way out the door.
Wow, Denise, tell us how you really feel.
Well, it's honest, but it's true. I think for a lot of folks, it wasn't an easy year, but now there's this new energy coming in. We've made it through all the retrogrades. I always love the energy of a new planner and new opportunities that we can manifest.
Oh, do you have a special planner that you choose?
I do. I have one that I've used for years that I love it. I love the layout of it. I just, you know how you get attached to those kind of things?
No, I never have.
Oh, really?
Yes, I always pick a different one, and it kind of bugs me that I've never found one that really has all of it. But I do love to go shopping for my new planner.
Oh, that's fun.
It is exciting. So 2024 in numerology was a universal year of 8, which is interesting because 8s are hard-working years. They're ambitious, they're perfectionists, they're driven, they're all about the bottom line, doing more, making more, produce. And I think 2024 was a very busy year for a lot of people.
I agree.
But as we head into this new year, we're moving into a universal year of 9, which I am hoping will be a lot gentler. So as you know, we go through 9-year cycles in numerology. So we are completing an important cycle that is the culmination of 9 years of work. So I think it would be a good idea for everyone listening to think about patterns, goals, things that have been a focus or a highlight in your life for the last 9 years. Is there something that's been reoccurring? Is there something you've been working on? Because you might see that come to fruition this year, or if there have been a lot of challenges in the last 9 years, you might see that come to an end in 2025. And so for this reason, 9 years are often referred to as the reward year, because it's a time to be rewarded for all your hard work that you've put out into the world over the last 9 years.
So if the year aligns with your personal number or your soul number, does that exemplify the energy of it? Does that increase
Yes.
Okay.
Especially if you are a 9 life path and now you're in a 9 universal year, that means things should be a little bit smoother and easier for you than the average person, for sure.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah. Are you a 9 life path?
I am.
Oh, look at you, Denise. So the number 9 symbolizes perfect completion because it's the number 3 expressed 3 times. Think 3 times 3 equals 9. 9 has always been considered the number of the wise old soul, which makes sense, Denise, because I feel like even as a 6-year-old, you were probably an old wise soul.
I wouldn't go that far, but that's very thoughtful.
The Norse connected Odin to the number 9. You know, he's the Norse god who hung upside down from a tree to gain wisdom. In Tarot, 9 is linked to the Hermit key card, which is a card symbolizing inner reflection and wise counsel. Therefore, this is a year to focus on balancing karma, seeking wisdom, and opening your arms to receive the recognition for all your hard work in the last 9 years.
So would the 9-year pattern be from 2016?
Yes.
Through 2025?
2017, really, because 2016 was our last universal year of 9.
Okay. So wherever we were at the beginning of 2017 would have started this cycle.
Yes.
That's interesting. That's when we started the podcast, was in 2017.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay.
Huh. Anyway.
What does the Hermit card in Tarot mean to you in terms of the number 9?
Going within, prayer, reflection, seeking inner guidance, looking for those answers within. It's a very, exactly what you just said, very reflective, very internal, seeking. It's very much about lighting the way for other people. I don't see it as a negative. In the deck that I use, it's referred to as the Crone card. And I think that it is that inner wisdom that we all have access to.
Oh, I've never seen the Hermit card as a negative card.
No.
No, because I feel like the lantern that he's holding and, like, the mountains behind him represent that he's done all the work. He's gone within. He's encountered the dark night of the soul. And now he's coming out of that cave, and he's going to help light the way for not only himself, but everyone else he interacts with.
And it comes right before the Wheel of Fortune card, which is twist of fate, big change, good luck coming in. So I think it's go within in order to begin to on the outside at what's coming to you.
Oh, that's a great point. So 9 years are all about reaping the rewards from your hard work. As the last single digit, 9 symbolizes things coming to an end so that exciting new opportunities can begin. So this year is often called the garage sale year because this energy represents a time to usher out of your life situations, people, and events that are no longer serving you. It's a year to clear out the old and bring in the new. So spend some time thinking about what are some situations that you are just done with and you just want to sweep them out of your life, wash them out of your hair, as the old saying goes from the song.
So that intrigues me because that seems to have been a prevalent energy for the final months of 2024. Could it be people were starting to regulate or resonate with the energy of 2025 coming in that 9 year?
Probably, yes. I definitely think it's like, how retrogrades have a shadow side, like a bookend on each. So, like,
Yeah,
you'll feel the Mercury retrograde 2 weeks before it starts and 2 weeks after it ends. I think it's similar as we transition into these new numerological energies.
I think that's really an important thing is that there's been this anticipation of waiting, clearing out, releasing, and from everything that you're saying, this will be the year where we're actually able to put that into practice.
Yeah, exactly. 9 years are often when we see something we've been hoping for a long time and working towards finally coming to us. And
Ooh.
that's a wonderful, hopeful thing, I believe. It's a great time to focus on evaluating your life and ask yourself, what do I want to stay in my life and what am I ready to release? And I would love for everyone to really think about that. What aspects of your life do you really enjoy and love and you want those to stay? And what aspects of your life are draining you, are causing you stress, are making you feel disconnected from yourself or from source? And can you release those or do some work to get ready to release those?
I think for many people, just an opinion, that giving yourself permission to do it your way and to say this doesn't work for me, and everyone might say but look at how great that is, or everybody wants what you have. If it doesn't fit for you, this sounds like it would be an excellent year to say I'm going to start doing it the way that really feeds my soul and my purpose and my path.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Powerful, right?
It is. It's very hopeful.
I think so too. Now, universal years of 9 are also a time to let some relationships go that are no longer serving you. So it's not only situations that you want to release, it can be some relationships. Is there a negative person in your life who is not really enhancing your life, who's bringing you down, whose negativity is causing you to feel an exorbitant amount of stress? What can you do to let that go?
Okay, so there's a woman that I know listens to our show, ridiculously empathic, intuitive, connected, amazing, amazing person, and has been in a relationship for a long time that is not healthy and keeps getting the message from spirit of it's time to wait. It's not yet, not yet. And when you were speaking, I thought, I wonder if for this person, it's going to be the year where they're finally able to take that step and realize that it is time.
Yes. And if she's not ready for that, that's okay. She can take
Right.
steps towards it. She can start saving money or preparing herself emotionally or reaching out for some support from a therapist or a trusted friend. But as I think this is the time to lay the groundwork for all of that.
Okay. Beautiful.
It's also a great year to focus on healing your inner child or releasing old wounds or patterns that are no longer serving you. And finally, a 9 year is a great year to focus on receiving. As a year of completion, this is the year to wrap up projects while holding an energy of openness to receiving the rewards from all your hard work in the last 9 years. Denise, I think this is the hardest thing for most empaths. I know it's very hard for me. And I don't mean to say like, oh, I'm such a giver. I hate to receive. I don't mean that. I just mean I have a hard time asking for help. I have a hard time receiving that. I'm very comfortable doing it on my own.
Right. I
And
agree.
don't you think the more we can focus on receiving, the more we allow that cycle of abundance and connection and unity to really flow? Now, don't forget, 2026 will be our universal year of one. And 1 year, that's new beginning, brand new chapter, new start. So 9 years, you can bring new things in, but it's really about prepping, planning, releasing, and receiving the the accolades, the rewards that you've been working to and towards for the last decade. So you can start new things, but first you have to clear out the old. You have to make way for those new ventures. And we say this every year, but just as a reminder, if you take your birthday month and your birthday, the day you were born on, and you add it to 2025, that will give you a number once you reduce to a single number of what your personal year number is. So, for example, if you were born January 1st, you would add 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5. And then that would tell you what your personal year number is, which would be 11. But as a whole, as a collective, we are all moving into the universal year of 9.
I love that. I really do. I think that the idea of completion and getting out the little proverbial dustpan and broom and cleaning up this last stuff feels so wonderful.
Yeah, and so needed right now.
Very, very much so. And I think some people haven't you found like a lot of folks you're speaking with, they're at this crossroads yet again of really stepping into their own, of saying, I don't want to discount who I am anymore. I really want to step into my spirituality or my health and wellness or my creative endeavors. So this year feels like a good time to really clean that all up and get clear with yourself on who you are and what you want to become.
Yeah, exactly. Get really focused. I had a really magical manifesting thing happen to me over the holidays that I think kind of speaks to all of this that I'd love to share, and I hope it inspires other people. I went into our local Barnes and Noble and I saw my book there.
Oh,
And people listening might be like, yeah, good for you, Samantha. Like, you have a book out. But my first one was never in that bookstore. And here's what's really important to know. When my kids were little, every Monday, their dad and I would take them to Mama Foo's. It was their favorite restaurant, and the kids ate free on Mondays, and we were all about the budget back then. So we'd go to Mama Foo's and we'd have our dinner, and afterwards we'd walk over to Barnes and Noble, and the kids would get a hot chocolate and they would play with the little train thing. It was just our Monday routine. And I would get my tea and I would walk to the fiction section and the spiritual new agey section, and I did this every week, Denise. I would find the FEs and I would put my finger where my book would go.
oh,
And I would try to visualize my book there. And I did that for years and years and years and years. And I kept getting no's and no's and no's, and this isn't right for us and all of that. And then finally, now my second book is out and I wasn't even thinking about it. I just walked into the bookstore and I always go to the spiritual section because I love that stuff, obviously. And I see my book there prominently displayed and I got chills everywhere. And I thought, wow, it was just an example to me of persistence really does pay off.
It does. And years ago, a friend published, and I went into Barnes and Nobles and saw their book. I got so excited. I was so excited that I knew the author. So I can't even fathom what it would be like to see your own book. That must be a really unique experience.
It was really, I mean, I've been very, very lucky. I've gone into other bookstores and seen my book. I was traveling in Colorado and I saw my book. I was in the mountains in North Carolina and saw my book, and it was just like overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But this bookstore is one that we just, I don't know, I just associate with those dreams for all those years. Because
Oh.
I really would do that. I'd put my finger there and I'd say, one day, Samantha. And I'm just so happy that it finally happened. And it reminds me of a universal year of 9. Like, you finally receive all the rewards of your hard work for those last 9 years.
And it's well deserved. But you just made a really important point, is you've been building this for a long time. Not only
Yeah.
this 9-year cycle, but many 9-year cycles.
Many, many, many 9-year cycles. That's right.
But each of those 9-year cycles seems like it got you closer to the goal. Because if we look back over, you used to write for BeliefNet, and then you wrote for magazines, and then so it almost feels like they were little stepping stones towards this to be able to walk into Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. Well, I found a quote by, I think it's Anita Shreve, that I just really hung on to all these years. She said, the only difference between a published writer and an unpublished writer is the published writer never gave up.
Oh.
And I just think that's so true. And I think that's true for any goal that we want to achieve. If it's the goal that you feel really attached to, that you feel very passionate and connected about, then just don't give up on it. Don't give up on yourself. And looking back, I can see how, with other things going on in my life, if I had gotten accepted for publication during those years, it really would not have been the best time for me or my family.
Right.
So it's helpful in hindsight to look back. But I just wanted to share that, not as a pat me on the back, but as I hope it inspires people to just, whatever it is, whatever goal you've been working on for the last 9 years or the last 3 9-year cycles, don't give up if it's really, really important to you.
Right. And it ties back in with whatever it is for you is what matters. You you've always wanted to, I'm pulling this out of a hat, to learn to ride dressage. And you've always had this deep desire to really, really bring your equine skills to a new level. That's yours. It doesn't matter what it is. Or you might want to learn how to bake like Martha Stewart, going back to Martha on the shelf, on the mantle.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever it is, it's your goal and it's important to you, and don't give up on it.
Right. And from what you're saying, this is a good year to really get clear with that.
Yeah, it really is. Denise and I just want to pop in and tell you guys about some exciting events and classes we have coming up. On January 8th, I'm teaching my manifesting class to help kickstart your New Year goals. With this live class that's taught in person over Zoom, you get my Manifesting Goals ebook. You get a meditation to help you align your subconscious with your goals. You get a chance to ask me questions about manifesting blocks and learn how to really set your 2025 in the best possible energy. Also, the 4 Wednesdays in February, I'm teaching my Be Your Own Psychic class, where you really learn how to embrace, awaken, and strengthen your intuition. You'll get some partner work, you'll get some individual exercises, and some fantastic feedback. And also in February, on the 2 Saturdays in February, we're going to be doing our class on mediumship with Denise and myself. That's Saturday, February 8th and February 22nd. I'm so excited to teach this again with you.
Oh, it's fun. We always have a good time when we do this one, and it's a beautiful stepping off point. If you think, am I a medium? Am I not a medium? It's a really nice place to explore that.
Yeah, I think so too. You learn really how to embrace your mediumship in a very safe and supportive environment. And because we're doing it on Saturdays, there's a little bit of extra time where we're hoping to do some in-class partner exercises. But like our other classes, you'll have some out-of-class partner exercises as well. Oh, and I also, in January on the 25th, if anyone's in the Northeast, I'm going to be in Virginia. I'm going to be presenting Saturday night at Edgar Casey ARE on manifesting.
Oh, perfect. The past 3 years, I've offered a really intensive mentoring program for a small group of people. I've been studying and doing this work for a while now, and I've taken so many classes and trainings that it's my way to share what I've learned. But even more importantly, it's about helping each person find how they best connect with spirit. In the past, it's been a 6-month program, and each month, every person gets a one-on-one coaching session with me for their own personal growth and development. There are 2 monthly group meetings, and the first part of the meeting is direct instruction, where I share practices or techniques to help you develop your own connection more fully. The second half is more of a shared, it's practice, it's building community. Also, if there's an interest, we've explored business components. There's a monthly class that we have as a group. Everything's recorded and uploaded. So if you're not able to be there in person, the big part that I think my favorite, though, is that this is a real way to build community. We have shared practice sessions with previous mentor groups worked into the schedule as well. So if you're interested in that and would like more information, please send me an email with Mentor Program 2025 in the subject line, and I'll send you back some information. It is a small group. It's limited to 20 people, so you really get to know the folks, but it's fun. We have a lot of
Perfect.
fun things coming up.
Let's get back to the show.
Perfect.
So I have some like fun little exercises people can do if they want to really focus on inviting new things into their 2025. Do you want me to share some?
That would be fun.
Okay. This one is called a transformation ritual. So if you're going into the new year and you want to transform an aspect of yourself, take a walk and pick up the first leaf you see on the ground and write down what you want to transform about yourself in 2025. So, for example, you could say, I transform negative self talk into pure self love, or I transform my business into total success. And then roll the paper towards you and wrap the leaf around it. Tie it with a string and hang it outside to allow the wind to send your intentions into the world. And I like that idea because it's not so much on goals, it's about what can you transform about yourself.
Right.
What can you work to change so that you can really really grow and work on some inner healing and evolution changes.
And I think that's the goal for all of us right now. If we're really going to use the energy of this 9 year to culminate, to clean up, to release, then that sounds like a perfect activity to really say, this is what I'm ready to welcome in.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because even if 2024 was a difficult year, I think it's important to try to reframe it with your thoughts by asking questions like, what did I learn this year? Or how did I respond to the events that happened to me? And maybe even consider writing down 5 good things that happened to you in 2024 and circle the ones that occurred as a direct result of your actions, your thoughts, and your attitude, because this will help remind you that you are a powerful co creator of your life, and that how you think and act and respond really does affect the energy that you bring into every day, every month, and every year. But if you have written down those 5 good things that happened to you this year, but you're still thinking like, I could have done this or I should have done that, consider trying that transformation ritual.
Right.
It's important, I think, to take action steps, whether it is just writing it down and tying it to a leaf. It's just a reminder. So every morning when you make your coffee and you're staring out the window and you see that leaf tied to a string on a bush or a tree outside, you are sending your subconscious a reminder, I'm working on transforming this within myself.
And I'm being very cynical now because we have about a foot of snow on the ground as we're recording this and I'm thinking, where the hell am I going to find a leaf?
Okay, that's fine. You can just get one from a craft store.
Or I could just figure something else out. But just for those in northern climates, there's another activity that we're going to share that might work as well.
What is that?
I don't know because it's on your list.
Oh. Okay, another one that you can do that I've been doing for years, and I really do believe this works. You choose a house plant that's easy to grow, like bamboo, which also symbolizes good luck. You write down a goal for your new year and you bury it into the soil of the plant. And then place a crystal in the soil near the plant that aligns with your goal, like moss agate for successful growth, green aventurine for luck, garnet for finding your passion and purpose. And then as you water and care for the plant throughout the year, you're reminding yourself to water and nurture your goal into fruition.
And that's very doable.
Yeah, it is. And I always keep mine usually in the kitchen because then I see it every day and I water it and I think about that goal as I'm doing that.
So I've shared this in previous episodes that with the whole word of the year, and I had always had a difficult time remembering it. And I think you could do the same thing as if you have a goal is take a couple of the passwords that you change on a regular basis and put that word into a password, maybe an email login or an account that you use often, or use some kind of cryptic form of it, because that's also a good reminder to keep you in the zone with remembering what that goal or what your word of the year might be.
Oh, that's a great idea. You can also get like a terracotta planter and just paint it and put that word on that planter or a word that symbolizes the goal
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and you can see it. Okay, here's another exercise that's about kind of switching up the energy. And this is one that I've done before and it does feel really impactful. You want to take a glass of water and sit before it. Hold the glass between your hands and stare into the water and say, all the energy that I have taken from others, I now pour into this water. Imagine any energy you've unwittingly taken from others, their emotions, their worries, fears, and anxieties, and see it pouring out of your hands into the water. And then you want to go outside and pour the water onto the ground. We're all connected to the earth, and through this universal connection, the energy in that water will find its rightful source. And then you go back inside and you refill the glass of water. You hold it in your hands and you say, all the energy that others have taken from me, I now call back into this water. And then you take a moment to visualize all the energy that others have taken from you throughout your life and imagine it pouring back into the water like liquid gold. And then drink this water as you reclaim your energy. Now picture yourself surrounded in an oval of perfect gold light and affirm, my energy is sealed, healed, and protected in all directions of time, today and always.
Oh, that could be very powerful.
Yeah, it really is because I'll do that a lot when I'm falling asleep is when I'm saying my prayers, I'll say, I reclaim any energy that's been taken from me throughout this day and I call it back into my energy. But I like doing the tangible exercise of the water trick because we do take energy from others without meaning to. You call a friend and you kind of complain and whine to them for an hour on the phone. Well, you've taken their energy, you've taken some of their time. It's not like a bad thing, but it's just that whole energy exchange. And so this is a way to kind of even that out and recall some of your energy so that you can go into the new year with a very clear and positive mindset.
Right. It's good advice.
Are you thinking about the ice and snow on your yard and how would you pour the water onto that?
No, it would make a hole. That's okay. I think too that you wrote a book about it last year and obviously it's amazing. The idea that you can manifest what you want to bring into your life and you have right, a couple days from now you have a manifesting workshop coming up.
Yeah, Wednesday night I'm teaching my Manifest Miracles class over Zoom, and I'm really excited because I walk people through how to create a goal book and a vision board. But I've also added to it a lot to include some elements from the book Heavenly Alliance to talk about how you can call on your guides and angels and loved ones in heaven to help you manifest as well.
Right. And from everything that we've talked about in this episode, it really, really feels like this could be the year to get clear with ourselves of what has been holding me back, or what possible excuses have I been telling myself, or what limitations have I allowed to continue over this 9-year cycle that I really am ready to clear once and for all.
Yeah, that's so, so true and very, very powerful if we carve out time to really go within and think about that, journal about that, write about that, talk about it. Because I don't know, I feel like we're all so busy and distracted and we're just going, going, going. Sometimes we barely even notice it's a new year. You know, have you ever been like writing the date and you write the old year on it and it's like, whoa, 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 I got to be more present.
100%. And also just it doesn't have to be a big giant thing. And I think sometimes we get caught up in oh, I'm going to use your example of publishing the book. I didn't publish my book, but did you gift yourself with writing on a regular basis? Or did you read more? Or did you attend a workshop? So even those little steps towards that goal, or towards what you'd like to bring into your life, I think that that's important to validate as well.
Yeah. Well, remember when we had Meg Calvin on and she talked about how someone asked her at a workshop, what would you do if it never mattered that you made money or anyone saw it?
Mhm.
What would you work on? And she said writing. I think that is such an important question to ask yourself. If money was not a requirement, an option, a need, if you didn't care if anyone ever saw it, what would you focus on this year? What would you work towards? And if you can't answer that, then you've got to dig a little deeper than most people, and that's okay too. Make it your mission to find what is your passion this year.
Right. Especially if it's something that steps away from traditional, what's seen as traditional security or stability or a path to take. And you're having a hard time saying, well, I don't see how I could support myself with this, or I don't understand how this will give me value, or is this really being of service? And I'm thinking of a conversation I had recently with very, very gifted artisan who is in a traditional job, but when they spoke about the art form that they are involved in, their whole energy changed and they lit right up, and it's what they want to do. So we had that conversation about, is something you can do on the side that you can really start to nurture, because it's going to bring balance into all these other aspects of your life if you're having at least some part of your day that you're really honoring what brings you joy.
I love that. But I have a question for you. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I said, if you like won the lottery and so money was not an option, take away like bucket list stuff, like, pay off my house or go on a big trip. What would you do with that money? Like what, cuz she was saying that she doesn't really have any big goals for the new year.
Mhm.
And she still couldn't come up with any. And she said, "Is it wrong that I'm just, I like my job. I like where I am in life. I don't really feel like I need to focus on doing anything more."
Oh, I
What do you think about that? Like if you just you're fine with where you are and you don't really have a side project, a current project, you just want to keep on keeping on.
I think that's a beautiful gift.
Yeah.
I really do. And it doesn't, there was so funny you say that, because yesterday I heard someone say something they said, I really love what I do. I have a great marriage. I like where I live in the country. And, and almost was looking for validation that that was an okay thing.
Yeah, I get that. I get that because I had a hard time understanding it. I always have goals and projects and things I want to do. I mean, since I've been a little kid.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine just being like, yeah, this is okay. I'll I don't know, like, it's just I always have, like, I wanna work on my oracle deck, I told you, I want to teach at this one place over in England, like, I always have goals that I'm working toward. I don't know how to be any other way. And when I was talking to this friend, she's been the opposite. Like, she just, and I think there must be some peace in that.
Really, but she's just wired differently.
Yeah.
But that's a hard one because I'm the same way. Have a goal, work towards it, figure it out. I love to figure out how I'm going to make something happen or encourage something to happen or take those steps. And and it works for me. It works for
Right.
you. But
Yeah.
you're right. For someone who isn't wired this way, it must be really I don't want to say easier, but the whole goal to be in the moment, to be present. If you're content with everything in your life, damn. Seems
I know. It's amazing. I remember one year asking my dad, "Are you going to make any New Year's resolutions?" And he goes, "My New Year's resolutions is to not make any more New Year's resolutions. I'm old, I'm tired, I'm not changing anymore."
Mhm.
Which is kind of a different way of looking at what my friend was saying, at how she's just at peace with everything in her life. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I know some people listen to all the New Year stuff and they're like, well, I don't really have a goal. I don't really have a passion project. Does that mean, I need to find it? And me, I would say, yes, like everyone needs something that they're working towards and striving towards and hoping for. But then I was talking to that friend and I was like, Samantha, you don't know everything. Like, don't tell people that. It's okay if you're just it's wonderful if you're just super content with where you are. I've just never been like that. Even when things are all going great in my life, I still like to have something I'm working towards.
And there's also the aspect of, and you've used this phrase, we both use this phrase quite a few times. If you're in a season of your life that's really busy and you don't have 5 minutes to yourself, or you may be struggling through grief, you may be in that survival mode stage of life that sometimes we hit, that this would almost seem like a pipe dream to be able to have the luxury of focusing on something else. So we're not discounting that sometimes life is heavy and you don't have that. It comes back for me that my saving grace is always gratitude. So even if I am in one of those stages in my life, I will find some little thing that I can say I'm grateful for. And it truly, trust me on this one, it does make a difference, and it does start to build towards being able to open up to more at some point.
I agree 100%. The power of gratitude, we all know it, but we do need to consciously practice it more and more and more. And as empaths, I think we need to practice being grateful for ourselves too. And so if you've had a hard year, be grateful that you got through the year.
What would be incredible is if we could all use this 9 energy to let go of the things that have kept us small. So how many people do we know that are still in the shadows, or they're afraid to be vulnerable, or they're holding themselves back? That would be a beautiful thing to release this year.
That would be. That is something we could work on transforming. Stop dimming your light.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And finding that like-minded community, or people who see you for who you are, or as I'm fond of saying, share your vocabulary, because time is finite. And why waste any more time with people, circumstances, things, situations that are pulling us back? A visual I got in readings towards the end of last year was, and we've shared this over the years, how randomly I'll get a new sign from spirit. And what I would see was the person I was speaking with, like stepping out of this huge fog bank. And all of a sudden pulling out, and the fog would pull them back in, and then they would step out of it again. And it was so indicative of someone really working to come out of that state of feeling confused and overwhelmed and in the fog and unsure, but then stepping out of it and ready to move forward. And I feel like that's the energy of 2025.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, here's my favorite quote whenever I think about that I'm dimming my light, or who wants to hear what I have to say, or anything I've said 100 times before, or there's nothing new under the sun. You know how you have all those thoughts?
Yes.
Well, this is Martha Graham, and she says there is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and will be lost.
Oh, oh, I
And I just
love
think
that.
that's so important. It is not your business, she says, to determine how good it is, nor how valuable, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe in yourself or your work. You have to keep yourself open and aware to the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. There is only a divine dissatisfaction, a blessed unrest that keeps us marching and makes us more alive than the others. And she says, so just get up and dance.
Oh,
Isn't that
I love
beautiful?
it. I absolutely love it. It's perfect.
Yeah, and it's something I remind myself all the time. Like, okay, maybe it's not, a groundbreaking, unique idea that you may have, or a goal that you may be striving towards, but it can only be expressed through you in your unique way that you have of sharing it with the world.
Yes. And that's what we need to remember.
I agree. Anything else you want to add before we
No, I
wrap up?
think we're good.
Okay. Well, we hope you guys have a fantastic, beautiful, wonderful, and hopefully restful start to your new year. Please remember, as always, to show up, do great work, and share your light.
Take care.